just dropped by.
Hey guys.
Hey folks. I didn't know you were watching. Hope they didn't listen too much. Oh, well, anyways, welcome back. This illustrious figure
Dr. Marc
before me
over
is
here.
Marc
And this is
Elmer. And we are
Marc and
Elmer's
PSI. Piano Scene
Investigations. Absolutely. You're back to hear what we've been reading and what we've been playing and what we've been hearing, huh? So, if you like our show, if you like us, you enjoy our company, please like, comment, and subscribe. And before we get moving, I want to give a pitch for these guys.
We got to make money from this someday.
We should one of these days. At least become notorious for doing their ads for them.
They're going to wonder why. Man, there's got so many orders. What the hell's going on?
So, let's see. I always have a theme to this. I never know. Okay. How about? Well, strangely enough, I'm looking at our boys over there. They're sitting on the couch. I think they just want to be spectators for today.
They're watching today.
I don't know. They make me feel like Shakespeare.
Oh no.
Yeah, this could be a bit of a challenge, folks. I've never done Shakespeare. I'm not much of an actor, really. So, whoa! Must I behold from my sorrowful eyes the magic that has gone before this beloved song box that I have known since childhood?
He practiced this for sure.
Oh gosh, I need to keep practicing. Okay, that's the best I can do.
That was pretty good.
You sure?
Bravo! Yeah, bravo.
Okay.
Bravo! Peace.
All right. Where was I?
Something about
the magic of the song of Bach's before me. Oh, what an undesirable conundrum.
Wow, you'd never have a career at that, buddy.
All right, apart from the BS, folks, here's Corey. Get yours now. Bring back the magic of that song box of yours. It's all in here, okay? Spray it on about a foot away from the surface and wipe.
Closed.
Yeah.
Don't get it on the strings, the keys, or anything.
Yeah, exactly. They say, what do they call it? Microfiber dust cloth. So that's what you use. And hopefully the woe from your eyes will be gone.
Yeah.
Very well, D.
Sometimes I use it to freshen up, just a little bit. Yeah.
I probably should have written lines for that one.
You didn't?
No, I didn't.
I
just
memorized it, right?
Huh?
You memorized it?
No, I didn't memorize
You
it.
made that up?
I just. Okay, I've been on a Shakespeare kick lately. Okay,
Wait,
so
seriously?
So I mean, one of my favorite movies was the Romeo and Juliet with Olivia Hussey as Juliet.
Ooh.
And what's his face when
She
he
got
sings that
me
song?
through a lot of nights back
It was
in 19 years.
Franco Zeffirelli, right?
Yeah, I think it was
Franco
Zeffirelli.
Zeffirelli. Yeah, it was a great movie.
Wow.
It's funny. Years ago, I was watching. I was with some friends. We were watching Romeo and Juliet, Franco Zeffirelli, of course, because it was an assignment. Okay, we had to read the play, and I kid you not. I was there with 4 friends of mine from school. I won't mention their names, but you know who you are. Okay, and 2 of them fell asleep halfway through the thing. And the Shakespeare language, you have to pay attention to it, or else you don't know how they're feeling and how they're saying it. And I don't know. There was a line in the play where Juliet mentions her breasts. As soon as she says breast, they both woke up. I kid you not. It was the funniest thing I ever saw. And I thought, oh my gosh, you guys, you fall asleep at the mention of, Juliet's saying her breast. They just woke up.
Frankly, Olivia Hussey carried quite a decent backwood there.
Gosh, but she was beautiful though. I remember her. I remember her very well.
Did you cry at the end?
Did I cry? Well, not really. I mean, it's Shakespeare. It would take a lot for me to cry at the end of a Shakespeare play. And incidentally, that's one of the most influential plays even today. I mean, look what we've got, what we've gained from it. You know, we wound up having West Side Story. Yeah. What else have we had? There's probably countless others.
Listen, that film.
Yeah.
That's the one that Henry Mancini wrote the music for.
Mm-hmm.
Ba-dee-da-da.
Yes.
Ba-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Now, the famous Romeo and Juliet.
Yes.
He wrote it for that film version of the setting with Franco Zeffirelli.
Yeah, and if you ever watch it, it's done quite, it's performed quite eloquently.
Yeah.
It's at the masked ball, and nobody knows the Montagues are there. Okay, I mean, just, you know, I mean, well, they do. Okay, but the fellow Romeo is standing, and he's singing, you know, the song "A Time for Us," and he's accompanied by a lute.
Yeah,
you know, it's done quite well. It's actually,
yeah, you know the story, right? I mean, did they still teach Shakespeare in school anymore?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
they do.
So Romeo and Juliet's basically about two competing, one might say, if not battling families in Florence.
Yeah.
Which was infamous at the time for things like that. And Romeo and Juliet are from each of the two families.
Yes.
God forbid they should ever come together. So
yeah,
age-old story.
Yes. Even more recently, well, not recently. I'm going to guess the last production of Romeo and Juliet done in the theater was an adaptation. Well, not quite adaptation, but a reinterpretation by producer-director Laz Berman. I don't know if you remember Laz Berman. He did the fairly recently Elvis Presley movie.
Oh, yeah.
So, but anyways, it had Leonardo DiCaprio as Romeo.
Oh.
And
at this age, present day.
Oh no, this was like back in the '90s.
Oh,
you're talking the '90s. They added pop music in it. John Leguizamo played Juliet's older brother, and he was amazing in the movie. You'd catch it. I mean, it's a mod. I mean, it's sort of interpreted in more of a 20th century style. Yeah. There's an opening. What is it called? Monologue at the beginning, or soliloquy, and they had. You know, usually in a play, they had just have somebody come out and recite the monologue or the soliloquy at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
In this movie, the monologue was presented in the form of a newscaster on television. Huh. Interesting. They talked about both families and everything. So, but Leguizamo, boy, he was definitely badass in the movie. He had a couple of guns, you know, like this, and he's daring Romeo to come out and have a fight and everything, and they have a duel. You know, Leonardo DiCaprio and John, they wound up having this fight, and of course, you know.
But you know, there's another modern version of the story.
Oh yeah,
that Bernstein's West Side Story.
Yeah,
that's based on Romeo and Juliet.
Yes, it is. It is
from the '50s.
Song and dance. Yeah. Then they've redone it again.
What was that? Italian and Puerto Rican comedies, right?
American. Yeah, Puerto Rican. Well, sort of American. Remember that some of them are.
I said Italian and Puerto Rican, aren't they?
Italian.
The boys.
Well,
the boys.
I guess so. You might be right.
Right?
Tony's
Italian, and Maria is Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Could be right. Yeah.
There you go.
But anyways,
they should do a. I was just thinking right now. They should do a rap. Black.
Oh no!
Gangs versus each other, Romeo and Juliet. Can you imagine?
Gosh, could you imagine?
Oh, I imagine all the gunfire with the little, you know, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I bet they already did it.
Yeah, they could have. They could have.
Maybe Sean Diddy can write that while he's in prison.
Well, actually, I'll tell you what. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I think there is a hip hop version.
Yeah.
Of Carmen. These days, Carmen.
Really?
Yeah, it's called Carmen Hip Opera.
Carmen Hip Opera.
Yeah, Carmen Hip Opera. You might want to look it up, Google it, and make sure I'm correct about it. I think it was called Hip Opera. Is what they called it. So, folks, what do we got going today, huh? If you were born today, It is Thursday,
10th of
July the 10th. You were born on the same day as Henryk Wieniawski,
Ooh, the violinist.
1835. Brilliant.
Yeah.
You were also
Polish.
Yes, Polish. And Karl Orff, 1895.
Ooh.
Was born today.
The modern educator.
Yes.
Music.
Karl Orff.
Also a composer. He wrote the Carmina
Yeah,
Burana.
Carmina Burana, among others.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting story. I don't remember the details, but I guess they found these manuscripts of some sort.
From the Middle Ages, yeah.
The Middle Ages, yeah.
Oh, can I contribute a couple of things? You're probably ready to roll with stuff, huh?
Well, yeah, I brought stuff prepared, but if you
Well,
got something here.
Well, first of all, I wanted to let people know, I'm not wearing it, sling and stuff, but on the 26th of June, I finally had my arthroscopic shoulder surgery. I think I talked about this in some show before, but last year, Halloween, I fell down a couple of the last stairs onto the landing. I was trying to get the Amazon lady. We had a package and it was raining and I didn't want to get wet. And I went running downstairs, had my computer reading glasses on, and that sets off my depth perception. And I missed the last couple stairs and boom, down I went on all fours. It hurt like the devil. I was sitting down there for a while in absolutely agonizing pain. But, I eventually got through it. My knee healed in about 6 weeks. And then my shoulder started to act up and I was in physical therapy. But by the end of March, the insurance said, we don't think it's progressing as well as it should be. So we want you to go see a specialist. So I went, he ordered an MRI. That's when I found that my rotator cuff was completely torn from the bone. My medial biceps tendon was completely torn from the bone. And I had, as it turns out, a rather substantial bone spur, which the surgeon wasn't quite sure where it might have come from, but he said it could also just be wear and tear over all his decades playing and conducting and doing stuff. So, anyway, June 26th, it was pretty amazing. I went in there at 5:40, and I was in the operating table about 10 after 7, quarter after 7. I remember they put a little oxygen on me and said, just breathe. That was not the stuff. They were going to do that through the needle to put me out. Mm-hmm. I had, first time in my adult life, I had complete anesthesia. I never had that before. When I had I had a heart attack back in 2016. Yeah. I was in twilight. I was actually awake while they did the procedure. They didn't cut me open here. They stuck something in me and ran through it. Just put a couple stents in the rear descending artery. It was all fine. I'm fine. I've been fine. In fact, last year I went to the cardiologist for my annual check. He said my whole cardiovascular system was better than it's been ever since they looked at it. So, really good. But anyway, I had my surgery on the 26th. Within 2.5 hours, I woke up and I was in a completely different room. Pretty out of it. I thought that I was still maybe like dreaming or something, but I saw the clock and I saw Laura there and realized, I think this is for real. I got home. I'm just going to tell a little bit about it.
Okay, good.
So before they did the surgery, the radiologist came in, or not the anesthesiologist, and he did what they call a neural block. So he used sound waves to find this primary nerve up here, the brachial plexus. Yeah. And they had this huge needle. And now they'd already kind of drugged me a bit for things. So I didn't feel it at all. But rather quickly, the arm just started to just really relax. And they put the entire nerves all the way through it, completely asleep. And then, they put me in the operating table, got me going. But they had both told me that morning. They tried to, I was thinking it's like the way people try kind of to tell a child about death. Yeah. Like grandpa died and we're going to go to the funeral maybe. If they don't, it's that age you have to decide whether or not you want to put the kid through it. Yeah. But they try to make it not so bad. Oh, God. Then you go, Grandpa, wake up! Oh, my God, Grandpa's dead. You have a big trauma, right? So they both said to me, now, when this wears off, the neural block,
Yeah.
about midnight tonight. It's gonna be a bit painful. A bit painful.
Is that the words they use?
Yeah. And I could tell the way they were telling me. It's like when the parents tell the kids, about death without trying to scare the shit out of them.
Yeah.
That's what they were doing. As I discovered, because about 1:45 that night, ooh, doggy, that started to come on. And apparently the biggest part of it was when they were shaving the bone to cut down
the spur.
The spur, yeah. That was apparently the worst part that he said would kind of hurt. He told Laura, in fact, he said, it's going to feel to him like somebody just broke his bone in two. Now, they gave me that stuff that's been in the news for people getting addicted, oxycodone, right?
Oxycodone. Okay.
Gave me that. You can do it medically.
Okay.
I
thought you were going to say fentanyl.
No, I don't think I had any of that, but
okay.
They gave the oxycodone, and then let's put it this way: that stuff, that's kind of like the Percocet they give pregnant women after their birth to really keep them down, keep the pain from wiping out. Even with the oxycodone, I was ready to literally climb these walls up to the ceiling. The pain was wow, but I made it through, and that was Thursday going into Friday. At the end of Sunday, I quit taking the oxycodone, even though they gave me a whole extra week's worth.
Yeah.
Because I was sometimes talking to Laura. I said, hey, to me it was like, hey, could you bring me maybe a little peanut butter sandwich or something?
Yeah.
Perfectly coherent to me.
Yeah.
She said, what did you say? And I said, I can't understand a word you're saying, apparently. So I just said to her in a more coherent moment, I said, okay, what happens during oxycodone stays with oxycodone. We don't talk about it.
Oh, gosh.
But then I started to take a German, by the way, I put a little recommendation up for it. It's called T-Relief, T-Relief. It's a German-made homeopathic pain reliever.
Okay.
And it works really well. It's got arnica and belladonna in it. So it doesn't just relieve pain, but it helps with the healing. And that's what I was taking. Now, it didn't work the way the oxycodone would, so it was and it still is painful every day, which gets a little exhausting, but it comes and goes, different things, and it's moving around. But this past Monday, I went and saw the doctor in the office who works with Dr. Nathaniel Long, or Nathan or Nathaniel Long. He's my surgeon. And this guy, Dr. Durenko, he checked with me. They cut the little sutures, or, what do you call them?
Stitches.
Stitches. They took out the stitches. Totally didn't feel a thing, didn't hurt, nothing like that. It was great. And then he came in, and then he did this with my right arm. He lifted it up about till it hurt, and then he pulled forward till it hurt. And I was surprised it moved that much, because I can't get it up that much yet. I can do this right now on my own. And if I'm on a surface, I can slide my arm open a bit. But I'm getting more mobility. But he told me I can play the organ this Sunday. I should be able to do that.
Okay,
because, there's no resistance and
right.
such. Piano's in a month or more off, at least, to just get back to it. But I can get back to it.
Yeah, good.
And maybe even by later this year. I'm actually been wanting to do a concert with Michael Blaha, who's the grandson of a very dear physician friend of mine. We did 2 or 3 different recordings on the concerts from the Minor Corps.
Yeah.
If you go on YouTube and look at those, Mike and I did some performances. He's a brilliant clarinetist, really wonderful. Young guy, graduate from OSU. Anyway, that's one of my goals, hopefully, is for a first concert, maybe not solo, but to work with Mikey and do something. Because we've been talking about it and had to postpone it because of this crisis. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know. The 4th of August, I'm supposed to go see the surgeon, and they're probably going to give me the go-ahead to go into some physical therapy, and I'll be back at it. But the thing that is really good, after I had the MRI, and then I consulted with Dr. Long, he said, if you're 80, I'd tell you to take a few shots and live with it till you die. But he said, as it is, since you're a young and healthy man, which was nice, he said, I think you should do this surgery. And he said, if you don't, he said, in the fact that the tendons are torn away from the bone, they will continue to kind of dry up and be healthy. And at some point, they won't be useful anymore in terms of the tissue.
Okay.
And then he said, and then the muscles not being activated well enough by them will start to atrophy. At that point, we would have to look at a complete shoulder replacement. And that put the fear of God into me, because I know people have had that done. And the thing I've always been careful about as a pianist, of course, stay away from the nerves. No cutting anywhere, no reattaching, none of that crap, kind of stuff like that. Now, with the neural block, all they did was just put a anesthetic in the nerves and put it to sleep. Yeah. But they didn't cut anything.
Yeah, thank goodness for that.
So I told him, I said, well, then we're going to do it. Because he said, they put two little U-shaped hooks. When you put a phone wire along your baseboard, you got them little clips. To hold them down against the baseboard. Apparently they look kind of like that. Oh. They put a couple of them in here, I guess, in the bone, maybe 3. And then I don't know what they used to suture it, but then they pulled up the tendon. On the bone, there was the remainder of the tendon on the bone. So all they do is they just sew it together, and they hook it through those little hooks in my bone. Those are permanent, I think. I don't know about that. I think he told me that they're actually biodegradable.
Oh, so they'll dissolve.
So they'll dissolve eventually. And the suture should too, apparently, even. But what happens, they found in more recent medical work, is that when they put live tissue together, and then they stimulate it with some kind of medicine, I forget what it is. I'm also taking a few things. But the cells start to communicate to each other, and it regrows. Apparently, tendon material, which is like salamanders and sharks and stuff like that stuff grows back on you. Or it has the capacity to repair itself, as they've discovered. And so, with a little help and stuff, and he said, I'll grow back and it'll be fine. He was a French horn player, my surgeon. He said, I asked him, I said, so, like what kind of play? He said, well, maybe when you get back to it, you can play some Mozart, maybe some easier Schubert, maybe Bach, not too strenuous, some things just move. Stuff. And I said, Brahms list? He said, oh, no. Or maybe end of the year, perhaps. So, but anyway, I just wanted to tell you, because it's been a long process. This has been going on since October. Yeah. And then fortunately, the insurance people made me go and do the MRI. And that's when the surgeon found out, you got total tears here. We have to fix it. Wow. So, but I'm not going to be stupid, hopefully, ever again. I was just impatient and didn't think about it, went running down the stairs, and this is what I did to myself. So, anyway, I'm going to be getting better, and I'll tell you about my own playing activities when I get to it. But then I have another thing, because Mr. Elmer and I...
It's called a sonnet.
In this show...
Shakespeare sonnet. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It just popped into my head.
Yeah.
It wasn't a soliloquy, it was a monologue. It's called a Shakespeare sonnet.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, anyways,
So the show that we've got up, our last one, we did early in the month of June. Now, there's another one that's in the can right now, about I don't know, 3/5 edited.
Okay.
But the other 2/5, I hadn't finished it yet, and then I had my surgery.
Yep.
And I still can't quite get my arm up and handle the mouse on the computer well enough yet. Because when I'm really like Speedy Gonzales, we're talking about stuff, and I'm going to type something in to get a picture or some information, and then I can stop the us for a minute and then paste it in and do it really quick. I got to be really good at that, at the editing. I didn't know jack about it at first, but, anybody, if you ever need to hire somebody to do something like that, I can do it. But right now, I'm like moving to this and then tick, 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 and it's ridiculous. It's awful. Listen, I am a good typist, but
hey,
I'm chicken pegging right now.
Joseph Levine said, "Do lots of left-hand practice."
Actually, I've considered going ahead and starting to practice left-hand exercises and then move on to some like Godowski's simple
Yeah.
left-handed stuff
Yeah.
just to get back into it.
Yeah.
Or
Scriabin.
frankly, just practice the left-hand parts to some of the music I want to play.
There you go.
Because there's one, this Schubert third impromptu from the second set,
Mhm.
the minor.
Yeah,
the
it's
minor
got some
one.
left-hand stuff.
It's got some tricky stuff in it, and it might help me just like focus really well on the left hand for a while. So anyway, we were talking in the last show that's up there. It was all about Van Cliburn,
Yes, it was.
and you were talking about the Chinese guy that played the Figaro. Liszt
Oh, the
Figaro.
Don one.
Yeah. Oh, is it the Don
Giovanni.
Juan? Yeah. Oh, the Don Giovanni.
Yeah. It was-
Okay, so I might have been wrong about that because, and I told you, I said, well, Horowitz played that, but he was.
Yeah.
Well, it could have been the Don Juan, but actually, what's on here is the Figaro
It's a
fantasy.
Figaro fantasy. Ooh, just as bad.
Marriage of Figaro. Yeah,
Just as bad.
yeah. So, but anyway, you said you didn't know about that. Well, it's not the Don Juan, but you
Okay.
don't have this.
I do not have that.
So I was going to loan it to you.
Oh, well, thank you
So you
so
can
much.
listen to it. Do you want to show? This is an old Velta Mignon recording that Vladimir Horowitz did back in the 20s
Oh,
when
my.
he'd come out of Russia and he, was playing in Europe and he set some things down.
Oh, my.
Velta Mignon was a major recording system and it's German, so it's possible he may have done this shortly after he did his concerts in Hamburg, even before he went to Paris.
You didn't give him the full story.
No.
You did not.
Yeah.
He's not just playing the Mozart Liszt arrangement of the Figaro fantasy, but it's got some touches of Busoni, and Busoni is notorious for not just leaving it hard, but making it harder.
Yeah.
So here it is, folks.
It's a really cool recording.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I can't wait to hear it.
Stuff in it. And the Velta Mignon system, which we talked about before in previous
Yes, we have.
shows, was a remarkable creation. I mean, it was really able to capture extraordinary nuances of the pianist. And they put this player system onto a real piano, and it would play. And people said, well, basically the pianist who recorded was there, and they'd only do it if he approved, as most recordings if he approved it. And sometimes they said they were astonished. It sounded exactly like the way they played it. So, and I've got a few different recordings I've kept. The University of Maryland Piano Archives one time put out what at that time was a complete reproduction recordings. Yeah. And then there was some guys out in California that had the original players.
Yeah.
And they were in good shape and kept them that way and so forth. And they were able to make new recordings with them.
Whoa.
For example, really cool recording I heard ages ago at Wittenberg, and I'm sure it's been transferred to CD because everything of his. Michael Tilson Thomas, when he was really young, back in the early 80s maybe, did an all Gershwin album. And he did the Rhapsody in Blue with George Gershwin at the piano,
Yeah.
which was played by one of these, I forget the German word for it, but the player mechanism
Yeah.
that George Gershwin had done. And it was based on a roll. But this is not your typical Aeolian reproduction.
Yeah.
This is serious German technology from the turn of the century back to 1900. But it was Gershwin. And it's the only recording that exists of the complete Rhapsody in Blue with George Gershwin playing the piano part.
Yeah, I think I remember
With Michael
that.
Tilson Thomas. I don't think I have that recording, but I borrowed it from Wittenberg.
Yeah.
But that was cool.
I think I used to have it on vinyl years ago.
Yeah, it was a vinyl recording.
Yeah.
So you
That's
can
very
take
nice.
that and listen for a while.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I apologize about keeping the song or what's her face so long. Samara.
Oh, the sound rock?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I
okay.
didn't mean to do
I
that.
didn't remember. Okay, well, folks. All right, so. Well, okay, before we get into it, I know we haven't been pumping out the episodes as much as we used to. I've been busy. Okay, I've been trying to get this back into shape. Hopefully, I'll have a recital ready soon.
Wee.
Yeah, soon. Okay, I didn't say coming up, but hopefully. I've been working on some extra material.
Cool.
So last time we talked,
Uh-huh.
I was thinking about doing the Haydn Fantasy, then the 32 Variations by Beethoven,
Yes.
Pleasure Dome, Kubla
Yeah,
Khan,
Charles
Griffiths,
Griffiths.
the Nobel Etudes by Chopin,
Uh-huh.
and then closing with the Mephisto Waltz. But you said I needed something after the Beethoven. So I think I found the piece.
Oh, wow. This is going to be a big program for people.
Well, you thought I needed something there, so I brought in
Ooh,
this.
nice piece.
The Faure Ballade.
I
It
love
doesn't
this.
get played very often.
It's a lovely piece.
It is. But
Sure
I think
this is a booger.
Oh yeah, it's a booger.
Mm.
It's a bit of a booger. This was originally. There's a few recordings or a few videos on YouTube of this. It's Opus 19. It's the Ballade. Originally a solo piano work. Eventually he would arrange it for piano and orchestra.
Yeah, I have a recording of that.
So, anyways, yeah, it's a bugger. This is the published by International Music Company, IMC, edited by Grant Johansson.
Yeah.
Well,
I think usually what international or what they did, it's a reproduction of another edition before that.
Yeah.
That for a period of time they were somehow getting their hands on ones, probably where the copyright wore out.
Yeah.
And then they'd reprint them. I've got several things like that. Actually, I think
Do you have this?
no, but I think my first Beethoven sonatas was international, wasn't it? It's green. Or is it? It's not Calmus. I think it was this.
Okay.
Yeah. Subsequently, I got other ones, but there's a lot of good stuff. Do they still publish? No.
I don't know.
I doubt it.
I don't know. I don't know if they're still around. But this I got years ago.
But their stuff is actually very reliable.
Oh yeah.
And it was printed well.
Oh yeah.
You know, certain things
It's
sometimes
legible.
Yeah, very legible and well printed. The paper seems to last decent. You run into some fly-by-night publishing houses where the stuff is not really great. And interestingly, one might say some of the French publishing houses, like Poulenc's music, well, I don't know if it still is, but it was in my younger years, still very much under copyright.
Yeah.
I used to hate this because I love Poulenc and I played a number of things. But when you turned the paper, it was so onion thin.
Yes.
That you could see the whole page before
bleeding
through the pages you were about to start reading. It was really bad. They just really
God help you, you have to
cheap
erase. If you have to erase, you'll drill a hole right through the thing. Are we talking about the same publishers?
Yeah, I can't remember. This doesn't say.
We won't say.
But,
I think some of you might know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
But I remember that. I had to buy two or three copies of the same piece.
My original Debussy preludes are no, they're not. They would look like that, but they're not. No, they're the real French publication.
Oh, they are.
What are they called? It looks like that. It's a solid cover. Who's a famous French publisher?
French publisher
of the Debussy preludes. Anyway,
are we talking Durand?
Yeah, Durand. I think. Well, I think so. Maybe I'll look it up and I'll put it up on the screen. But the other great savior is that a lot of this music, like where I have most of my Faure's music, is Dover.
Dover, yes.
Got a couple books.
Oh,
It includes ballads, preludes.
Yeah, the preludes, the impromptus, the caprice valses or valse caprice.
Valse caprice.
Nocturnes and barcarolles.
Yeah, I don't know it's all together. It's two separate books.
Yeah, it's two separate books.
But tell them about this one.
Oh gosh, well, what can I tell you?
What made you decide you want to do this piece?
Well, stupidity. I don't know.
He wants to play the Mephisto Waltz.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've been wanting to do some Faure. Okay. I mean, it is a lovely work. My first introduction to this work was a performance given by Robert Casasucci. He not only It was on a vinyl recording. The orchestra was Symphony of the Air. The conductor, Alfred Wallenstein?
Wallenstein, yeah.
Yeah.
Alfred Wallenstein, he did a few recordings with Arthur Rubinstein.
Yeah.
The Szymanowski Symphony Concerto.
Cantate. Yeah.
Isn't that with Wallenstein?
Yeah, that is with Wallenstein.
Yeah.
There was also another work on there. It wasn't just Faure Ballade, but Vincent Dondi's Mountains something.
I don't know this repertoire all that well, but
It's by
very descriptive
Vincent
titles.
Dondi, D-I-N-D-Y. Oh gosh, I wish I could remember the name of the piece, but it was a wonderful recording. I really liked Robert Capsatsu playing a lot. But anyways, I like this work. In a lot of ways, it's almost like killing two birds with one stone. Not only will I have a work for solo piano, but I might even look into the two piano score for the piano and orchestra version of it. But yeah, it's a wonderful work, and it's unique. He's not like if you look at his approach to composition, he's not unlike any other 19th century composer I've ever encountered. Now, if you remember a few episodes ago, we did feature Gabriel Faure as our featured composer.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of deep digging into his background and what he was like. Apparently, he spent much of his musical life as a church musician.
Yeah.
He was a devout Catholic.
Yeah.
And he was into things like Gregorian chant, which would explain the rather melismatic quality of his melodies, which you would find it here. And look at the way he changes harmony in this thing.
Yeah.
The way he changes harmony is unique. It in a way, kind of reminds me of some of Chopin's work. He'll start out with either a major, minor chord, but he wouldn't exactly just shift to another chord. He would just change one note or add one note, and one chord would just gently melt into another harmony.
Yeah. Faure is an interesting composer. I think if you compare him to Saint-Saëns and Debussy. Now, Saint-Saëns is older, but Saint-Saëns is a product of the original kind of Parisian school of pianism.
Yeah.
And there's
Who was his mentor, by the way?
There's something one might say Lisztian about Saint-Saëns' virtuosity.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The way he tended to write. And then on the other side, you have Debussy, who's really beginning to explore non-tertial tonality, right?
Yeah.
Harmony. Scriabin's doing his things with chordal harmony, and Debussy's, looking at the whole tone scale, and it's very influenced by the Paris exhibition with the Balinese orchestra that was there, and exploring those kinds of things. And then, of course, Ravel is an interesting one too,
Yes.
because Ravel, I think, took Lisztian pyrodynamics to an even higher level. It's remarkable music making. But Faure is elusive.
Oh yeah.
There is something more, like you say, the way that he shifts the harmony a little bit, more Chopinesque-like, but he's not conservative in the sense that it's old music, but it followed a different path that was not really Saint-Saëns at all, and definitely not Debussy. But the interesting thing is, this guy at a certain age, not so old, he became the director of the conservatory, Paris Conservatory, for quite a long time.
Oh yeah.
And he taught piano, interestingly, because he did play the organ as well in the church.
Oh yeah, he did.
And I think that's a very perceptive thing, that there is something in his writing that has something out of the Catholic musical tradition
Yeah.
of the church. Definitely, in a way, the melismatic kind of writing,
Yeah.
Gregorian chant, and things like that. It's music. I especially loved. I played the trio, the C minor, right?
Yes.
Opus 15 was it?
Yeah.
No, the quartet, piano quartet. Years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
But most of what I played at Faure was the song repertoire,
Oh yeah.
and it's really wonderful stuff. It does kind of create a kind of a possible visual background or environment for the song.
Yeah.
Not the same way that Debussy does, but he captures it. There's one song that's about the boat in the water.
Yeah.
You can feel the boat just kind of just gently moving as it would, just in the water.
Yeah.
Being tied to the harbor, actually, kind of thing. But yeah. There's some other composers follow him. For example, I think of Reynaldo Hahn. Do you know his music?
Yeah.
I think of him in the kind of Faure lineage
Oh yeah.
of writing, He had a profound effect on a lot of musicians, composers, because of his position at the conservatory. He wasn't a heavy-handed man. People loved him. He was very gentle, nice person.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah.
Apparently, some of his female students especially loved him.
Oh.
Loved him back.
Do we have to go there?
Even with the old white mustache and everything.
Oh.
Into typical Frenchman.
Yeah. Well, I was surprised in a recent article. I found out in some circles, Faure is considered the French Brahms.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That caught me off guard.
That's interesting. I never considered that, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
The Brahms are the kind of thick textures and, kind of emotionally profound and heavy in a way.
But at the same time, restrained.
Yeah.
There's some sense of restraint.
Right, that's
as
a good
well.
word there, buddy. So, I never thought about that. That's very good.
Yeah.
Faure is kind of a French Brahms in his milieu in his time.
Yeah, and I tell you, working on this piece, it's opened up a lot of things for me. Moving voices. Here, let me show you something that took me. I've been working on this all summer, and I'm only recently finding this out. But there's this episode in here where I'm looking for it.
You're getting into a lot.
There it is. Look at this.
You're getting into a lot of
This is the last part. This is almost considered almost like the last movement of the work. It's an allegro quarter note at 120, and right away it starts out with this motive phrase: bum 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 ba da 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 dee da da. Here, right here.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show them real quick here.
Yeah.
Take a look at it. It's at daggone it. It's right here. You see it? You can see it. I mean, if you can't read the notes, that's okay, but check out the rhythm. It's dod quarter note followed by eighth note, and then the next motive is exactly the same thing, and then he just sort of extends it. But this took me a while to catch this, and I wish he had notated it differently. I think there's ways of making it come out, but it's actually repeated again over here.
Yeah.
How would you catch? I mean, it took me. I mean, I was taking the thing apart, and I thought there's something familiar about this. Right over here, I had to write it down in pencil, circling notes and drawing lines. It's right here. Right here. That's this. That's what that is. And surprisingly, I've watched a few videos. I won't mention any names, but some of them don't catch this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so well hidden, you wouldn't know unless you really sat there and, I don't know, go through every possible permutation as to which notes do what. I mean, That's the best. That's the best way I could explain it.
Mhm.
The possibility of permutations as far as combination notes and where do they go, what direction is it going to go this way or is it going to go that way? You see, when I first looked at this, all I saw was just two scales and a left hand going ya da 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 dum bump da 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 dum bump, but it doesn't do that. It's this. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, I saw that. Actually, no. What I was reflecting on is, Gounod was, well, like anybody, really trained at the conservatory.
Yeah.
All of the European schools that were set up, let's say the big ones.
Yeah.
But more so the Paris Conservatory and then the Moscow and St. Petersburg. Now, the issue with Germany was partially because Germany didn't really become Germany until the late 19th century.
Yeah.
So there were different schools that existed in Leipzig, in Berlin, Hamburg, Cologne,
Yeah.
Germany. In many cases, it depended on where there had been the presence of some of the great German conductors.
Mhm.
So, for example, where Schumann had been, or Mendelssohn was at Leipzig, Liszt ended up in Weimar. You'd have certain places where the schooling was kind of, what's the word I wanted? It was organized and it kind of became traditional. Paris Conservatory was famous from the get-go. Cherubini was the very first director back in the early 19th century. And as things go, if you listen to Cherubini's music, he wrote operas and different things like that. He didn't stray much beyond Mozart-ish kind of writing. And this, we're talking into first quarter of the 19th century when Berlioz was already starting to experiment with things. And, you know, Chopin comes along eventually, Polish, but still, French claim him. And then, of course, Liszt eventually. So the conservatory was kind of set up in a conservative manner.
Yes.
And it had a reputation for that well into the early 20th century even. Now, there were people that came out of it that were doing some remarkable things. Debussy won the, what's the award where you go to Italy? And Samuel Barber won it too.
I know what you're talking about. It's
Forget what
that
it's called.
prize everybody.
Yeah,
Prix de Rome.
the Prix de Rome.
Prix de Rome.
So, I mean, there were, and of course there were developments as things went along. But Faure, and also because of this church influence very much in his early music, because when he was a teenager and stuff, that's where he was a lot. He played organ and was serving the organ in the. He had a kind of a little bit of a bumpy life musically earlier on, but then finally he ended up back at the conservatory and joined the faculty, and I think he was in his 30s maybe when he became the director or something. He was not that old.
No, he wasn't.
I think when he got to be, but then people talked about studying with him because Boulanger studied with Faure, I believe.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
And she ended up, being the mentor for so many extraordinary, like Piazzolla and Copland and so many amazing 20th century composers. And where she was so influential was bringing them back to the basics, Like, so when Copland showed up, he was doing 12-tone stuff.
Yeah.
And she said, why are you doing this? This is a European thing. And it's, they've done it pretty well. Schoenberg, Berg, and Weber, right? What do you got in America? And she turned a lot of composers onto their own
music,
interesting sources for music from where they came from. Piazzolla with the tango and all that. That's not what he was doing at first. He was also doing Europeanish kind of really wow kind of stuff. And she just said to him one time, she said, what instrument do you primarily play? He says, well, the bandoneon. Well, do you have one of those things? And he said, yeah. And he said, well, bring it to your next lesson. He brought it to her, and he played it for her. He said, that is what you should be doing. That is what you should write for. Woman was a genius that way.
Yeah.
But her genius, her mentor, was Gabriel Faure, who she talked about with luminescent memory.
Wow.
She loved him and loved work and everything. And it's like, I feel fortunate when I went to Wittenberg. It was a German school, but I did, we learned how to write fugues and, but before that, canons.
Canons,
at the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, stuff like that. A lot of traditional kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't surprise me to see that kind of voice leading moving through Faure, because that is something that's, what else, when you refer to him as a Brahms.
Yeah.
Brahms was a master composer who was really well versed in really traditional music writing, which he did wonderful things with, but that's when the world split between Liszt and Wagner and Brahms, because Brahms was continuing something more in the older school tradition, but doing modern things with it. But then he also became interested in medieval and Renaissance music, which began to influence his later compositions. It's like when Brahms will, like at the end of the G minor, Hungarian, the ballad, right? The ballad. It feels like it's slowing down, but it's not slowing down. He's using hemiola to control the energy and the tempo to just bring it to a kind of a winding down thing. There may be a ritenuto in there, but he actually does it by using the hemiola to slow the passage of the rhythms so that they're not quite as fast as they were.
Yeah.
That's a technique for the medieval period.
Wow.
So, I'm glad you're going to give that a shot. Man, you're putting yourself in for notes. You're going to do, now the high's not so bad, but 32 variations of Beethoven and this.
Yeah. Then the intermission, I hope.
Yeah.
I'm going to
But then you got the Mephisto at the other end.
Yeah.
You're going to be learning a lot of notes.
Yeah, it is a lot of notes. It is.
But I love the program. This with Charles Griffiths and then the Chopin.
The Chopin.
Nouvelle Etude, which he wrote for Marshallese, right?
Marshallese, yes. Yeah. Yes, it's a beautiful work. It's a beautiful work. And the fact that he eventually arranged it for piano and orchestra, that makes this even that much more demanding.
Yeah.
Because you're playing the orchestra and the solo piano.
Okay, you guys that know music, what's the home key for the piece?
The what?
The home key.
This one?
Yeah.
F sharp major.
F sharp major. We're talking like weird keys like Scriabin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but this is gorgeous.
F sharp major means you're like floating up there on the black keys and occasionally dipping your toes in a white note here or there.
And it closes beautifully. The ending, it kind of reminds me of the Chopin barcarolle. No, not the ending of the barcarolle, but it has these coloristic effects. I mean, look at the moving thirds over here. Yeah. It's sort of like the opening of the barcarolle, where it's like almost like a duet. You see, I'm talking here, right here. It comes after the cadenza over here. See, and it's gorgeous. I mean, it just.
So whose recording are you, or various recordings?
Various recordings. There's a recording of, let's see, Philip Collard. There is a recording of Gabriel
Aquino or Joaquino, what is his name? The Italian dude that played all the French music.
Oh, Cicciolini.
Oh, Cicciolini.
Aldo
Cicciolini.
Yeah.
But this is edited by Grant Johannesson.
Yeah.
He's American, but he spent a lot of time in France. Played lots of French music.
He was a professor at University of Cincinnati.
Wonderful recordings of him. He's a big boy, big tall guy, big hands.
Oh yeah.
plays like it too. He plays like it too. Yeah, I grew up listening to his recordings when he recorded for Box. I think I might still have that.
Johannes and I thought he was a contemporary of Earl Wild.
Yeah,
Boys same, born about the same time,
About the same
died about the
time.
same time.
him and who was his other the other guy? Eugene List. Eugene List is another one. I mean, they were their stature, their build, they're sort of similar.
You know, there's a whole that little generation right there.
Yeah.
Why is that? Is it because Van Cliburn just exploded onto the scene,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But there was an interesting generation of American pianists. We might say, let's say they're not sitting in the same place that Horowitz, Rubinstein, Van Cliburn
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
They were extraordinary. I mean,
Yeah.
Willie Capell is probably one of the most famous of
yeah.
them because he died young.
Yeah.
But he would have been a butt kicker.
Oh
Then there
yeah.
was Leon Fleischer, and there's Greg Onison, and we just mentioned the guy
Eugene List.
Eugene List and Earl Wild.
Wild.
There was a whole bunch of
yeah.
extraordinary, really great American pianists. And they ended up, many of them teaching, and then teaching the next wave of them. But that's what we do. We don't let people get forgotten.
Yeah, we tried. Trying not to.
I'll try to put Grant. I'll find a picture of Grant eventually. Put his
Yeah.
face up and name and a little bit of information.
I tell you, I've had a lot of fun trying to learn this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I said, it's still a work in progress. It really is. I mean, it's some of the stretches, are a bit, this way. But one of my most intriguing moments here is this Andante. It's kind of short, where it's almost recitative like.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at check out this arpeggio.
Yeah, I looked at that.
Did you see the arpeggio?
Yeah.
I can see he mixes harmonies here at the Andante. It's the whole episode is sort of recitative like. He'll have a phrase, and then this arpeggio,
Yeah.
which is more of a coloristic effect, but it's got mixed harmony in it.
You know where I think he gets this idea from? Liszt. Liszt, I'm thinking specifically of,
Yeah.
what are the pieces? They're from, what are the three, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Take your time.
I've been coming out of taking too much medicine and stuff, but there's the three pieces that are often done together. They're not etudes. But they're based on kind of like Renaissance ideas of
The sonnets.
the sonnets.
Sonnets.
The sonnets and even the
Oh, Liebestrom.
like those things,
Yeah.
where Liszt was exploring that kind of recitative, and then he would do these flourishes,
Yeah.
just kind of break away a little bit, and come back to the scene. I see that may be where that comes from.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm more intrigued with the harmony mix he puts in there. It's in that arpeggio I was talking about. He has what? The first arpeggio has. Oh, where is it? Okay, I was just looking at it. It's before that. There it is. He mixes this sort of B flat 7 with, gosh, what would you call that? An F flat 7 up here, and it comes back down, and somehow he finagles his way back to B flat 7 again.
Mm-hmm.
And I was figuring out, how come that works out so well? And I figured it out. It's because they have the same enharmonic tritone in it.
It's a tritone relation.
So yeah, so that's what it was.
Yeah.
But the fact that he uses so many accidentals kind of throws you off a little bit. But he does that throughout this whole Andante episode. It's about a little over a page.
Faure is for pianists who haven't experienced him, I think it's very worthwhile.
Yes.
His music doesn't have the kind of explosive impact
Yeah.
of, well, even Saint-Saëns.
Yeah.
But I was going to say Liszt or something
Yeah.
like that. And one might say it's without that kind of Polish, courtly dance kind of thing that Chopin brings into his music. It's a little bit more suave and quieter than Chopin in general.
Yeah, it is.
It's a little bit more kaleidoscopic, less so than maybe Ravel, and not nearly as, whatever you would call the sounds that you get from Debussy. And Debussy always strikes me, when you're playing him, you have to have a really keen ear for orchestral sounds.
Yeah.
To really make it come alive.
Yeah.
Because Debussy wrote some extraordinary orchestral settings.
Oh, yeah.
And I, as I got more advanced, I would listen for that in his piano music. Because I don't think of Debussy's piano music as piano music, but it's orchestrally conceived but then put down for the piano. Faure, my whole point is, he's somewhere in there, in that place. You know? But don't take him for granted.
Oh, no.
Because it's all those little subtle shifts and things, and often surprising, and I would say, honestly, some occasionally awkward piano writing.
Yeah.
I don't think he was a virtuoso pianist.
No.
I think he taught it, and I think he was perfectly good, but I think he was a composer who was also teaching piano at the conservatory.
Yep.
But let's put it this way, he's no Alfred Cortot.
No, he's not.
Okay, as a pianist.
No.
So sometimes this stuff is a little awkward, and you gotta apply yourself when you study Faure.
Oh, yeah.
To get it. And look for the sound and the voice from within the music. The stupid thing to say, probably, but you should do that with everything. Mm-hmm. But he's not someone you can just patch an idea or a sound onto. There's something, I think, wonderfully organic about the music. Kind of everything that you would do with it rises up out of itself. Now I have done, I did some Faure with that clarinetist I talked about, Michael. Some wonderful things, and the song stuff too. But good for you.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this substantial
Well,
program.
you'll be the first one to hear it. You'll be the first one.
Honestly, when do you think you're going to pull this off?
Oh,
Next year?
perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps. I mean, it's
Spring next year?
yeah. The list is going to be the list worries me. Okay, it really does, because you have to be sure that every finger is rooted. I mean, even the parts where and it's I mean, once it's, you better hope that it's all there. There has to be some kind of mental connection between finger and key, because you don't have this, you have that, and by the time you've done this, it's already time to go move to another part of the keyboard already. Oh, the leaps are a pain in the butt.
You're practicing slowly.
Oh yeah, I am.
Okay.
Okay, so anyways,
We found it.
so we have PSIs, work in progress.
Good.
I mean, we didn't exactly announce it, but that's what it is.
Good.
So, what have we been clamoring for the last couple episodes? We've been clamoring for our featured composer, haven't we?
Ooh.
So we finally have one.
Ooh.
We have a featured composer.
Is it a guy's birthday today?
It's not his birthday
Oh,
today,
okay.
unfortunately. But
Okay.
I will say this. Okay. For generations, pianists have been produced by this composer. But not just this one composer. Who have you been composing? Bach, Beethoven, Mozart, the greats, the giants. Okay, Liszt, Rock. I mean, even as the 19th, early 19th or late 19th, early 20th century, Rachmaninoff. He's had, Rachmaninoff. I mean, what competitor has not played Rachmaninoff? Okay, but we have overlooked one composer who would quite possibly, all right, I contend he could possibly be the most influential composer, pianist that ever lived.
Wow.
Quite possibly.
Oh.
Okay.
He likes to say outrageous things.
Yes, it could possibly well be. Because after what I've been doing some heavy digging lately
Okay.
this week, folks, and what I found out about this composer just absolutely astonished me. Okay, absolutely astonished me.
Okay.
You'll never guess who it is.
Do we do this as a special thing, or do we have that? I mean, a segment.
A segment?
I don't think we have one. For
I
this.
don't know. You could come up with one.
Okay.
Okay. So,
But we have to like pace ourselves to do that 7-second thing. Do you want to do something? No, it's a PSI.
if you want to, PSI's okay. PSI's featured composer for today.
Okay. So, 1, 2. Did you say it loud enough though? Let's do it one more time.
Okay.
So
We'll
here
do
you
it
go.
one more time.
Introduce it.
Okay. Introducing. I just announced a prelude to our next segment. PSI's featured composer.
1, 2, 2.
Yeah, we sure can talk. We talked about this guy. I didn't bring much. There yet? Okay. So have you guessed yet what composer
I have no
talking
idea.
about?
I have no idea what
You'll
rabbit
never believe
is
it.
pulling out of this bag.
Carl Czerny.
Oh yeah!
Believe it or not,
Ooh,
I brought in. This is the only work I brought in by this guy, other than the exercises. I didn't bring any of his exercises because if you're a pianist, I think you're going to be familiar with them.
That's the unfortunate thing.
Okay,
Is he's been
School of
reduced-
Velocity.
He's been reduced to just like the exercise guy, and in the older school of piano playing,
Yes.
right? Because I
Yes.
don't even know if people nowadays even explore him that much.
Oh, yeah, but he needs to be brought.
prolific composer.
Absolutely.
My God.
More than you think. I mean, we're using the word prolific, but like I said,
Wow.
what I found out
That's
about
very
this guy
interesting.
will astonish you. I hope it does astonish you as well as it did me. Okay.
Here we go.
Carl Czerny. He's considered an Austrian composer, but of Czech descent.
Mhm.
His father was Czech. His mother, I think she was Austrian. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But anyways, he started piano lessons at the age of 3 from his father, 3 years old, and was already composing at age 7. He finally was brought before Beethoven at the age of 10 years old and wound up getting lessons for 3 years from Beethoven for absolutely no charge.
Yeah.
Absolutely no charge.
Yeah.
Amazing. What did he play? He played Mozart's Concerto number 25 in C major, Purcell 503, and he also performed for him the newly published Pathetic Sonata.
Right, played Beethoven.
So he played contemporary music even at 10 years old. Can you imagine that? Contemporary.
Wow.
Beethoven finally just released him by the age of 16. He was out.
Mhm.
He was out in the world at age 16, and I don't know how his reputation. I would imagine his reputation grew from some of the recitals and performances, or even just the name working with Beethoven himself.
Yeah.
You know, brought in tons of students. They were already lined up by the time he was 16. Could you imagine that? 16 years old. What were you doing at 16? I was still trying to figure out how to parallel park at 16, much less trying to figure out.
I did my first professional length recital at 16, remember? Or were you,
Yeah.
I did the Debussy Preludes, a whole bunch of Chopin.
Yeah, but were you teaching that many students? Did you create a reputation as a teacher?
No.
It wasn't me. That's not me.
That was exceptional.
Yeah. I mean, who would do that? So, but anyways, 16 students came. In 1811, at the age of 20, he gave the Vienna premiere of the Emperor Concerto.
He was born in 1791,
1811.
but he was born in 1791.
Yeah, he was born in 1791.
Uh-huh.
Died in 1857.
Well, 1791 when Mozart would die.
Died, I know.
He was born the year
Isn't
Mozart
that
died.
crazy? Isn't that crazy?
Hmm.
I mean, it was almost I mean,
Mm-hmm. When did he die then?
1790. He died in 1857. At this point, he was,
Schumann was already dead by then,
Yeah.
but Only just by a little bit.
Yeah.
That's not bad. 57 in
Yeah.
9 years. So he made it for 65 years or 66 years.
66 years old.
Wow.
66.
What else you
Okay, are you ready for this? All right. So, not only do we have all those famous exercises and studies by this guy, 304 sets of variations and potpourris based on 87 operas. 304! 304, folks!
Yeah.
A concertino, or concertinos, Opus 79, Opus 650, Opus 210, number 13, for piano and orchestra, not to mention piano concertos in F major, A minor, and E flat major. He still had time to compose 10 solo piano sonatas.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Look at that. A toccata at Opus 92, Capriccio, Opus 200. The Opus numbers reach at last recording was 861, the highest.
You imagine that?
861. And folks, you're not talking just a single Opus number. Some of these Opus numbers have at least 50 pieces in them.
Yeah. Those
That's-
exercises most of the time. but
You're
yes.
you're talking well over 1,000 works.
The story about him I remember reading was that in his workroom, he had anywhere from 3 to 5 desks or tables that were lined next to each other with entirely different compositions.
Yeah.
And it was like when Bobby Fischer was playing chess against all those different guys.
All those guys.
Just go from table to table to table, make a move, keep working on. This is the way Czerny composed.
Yeah.
Is he just, pick up his pen, see what is writing there, and then add some more to it.
And still teach 12-hour days.
Let's put it this way. One might think, anybody can just write some crap, they got a name, publish it.
Yeah.
No. Horowitz picked this up and recorded it.
Yes.
This one.
Yes.
We're going to talk about that?
Yes, we can talk about this work. The Carl Czerny's Variations on the theme by Rodet, Opus 70 or Opus 33.
That's
in
the
his-
Horowitz did, right?
Yeah, this is the one. And a interview with David Duvall. In this, if you look for the book, it's Conversations with Horowitz by David Duvall. And he talked extensively about his recording career.
Mm-hmm.
And
Horowitz, not Czerny.
yeah.
He was dead long before that ever.
Oh yeah. So, but he did ask Horowitz, which one of these recordings would you like to be best remembered for? It wasn't Chopin. It wasn't Liszt. It wasn't Rachmaninoff or Scriabin. The backbone of his recording career and concertizing career.
Yeah.
He wants to be remembered for this work. This one. He said that to David Duvall in the interview.
Yeah.
This one. Let me show you this. Here it is. You could probably get this on an IMSLP.
Yes,
You
everything.
probably could. Okay. But in recent years, there have been performances of this and recordings of this
Really?
on YouTube. Let's see. The other pianist I knew that recorded this, and this was years ago, was Ivan Davis.
Uh-huh.
But in more recent
Another
years,
one of those great American pianists.
yes. And in recent years, we have the silver medalist of the Van Cliburn competition from the 90s. Yes. Antonio Pompabaldi.
Huh.
He's from Italy. And his performance recording of this work is actually quite charming. I've seen him perform live just once over at Ohio State. He was doing 2 piano forehands with Leslie Howard. And he's a very fine pianist. You couldn't ask for a playing partner that Antonio Pompabaldi, with Leslie Howard. It's Leslie Howard, really. So, but his performance of this is absolutely quite charming. I mean, if you ever get a chance to go on YouTube, check out Antonio Pampabaldi. He understands the vocal elements of the work. It was the actual theme. I don't remember the first name. I mean, if you could find it, it's in the first page. Czerny first encountered the work by a soprano.
Pierre Rode.
What is it?
Pierre.
Pierre?
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 Pierre.
Oh, okay.
Pierre Rode.
It was sung by a soprano, and she used to make it one of her main staples at her recitals, and she became renowned for singing it, and Czerny went to see her perform every chance he could get.
Catalani. She was very famous soprano.
Oh, you've heard of it.
Yeah, Angelica Catalani.
So, anyways.
She was related to the composer guy in the 19th century. I bet they were related to each other.
Oh, Catalani?
Catalani.
Oh, I didn't know they were related.
Well, I don't know, but I'm guessing that they were.
Okay.
I think so.
But anyways, she became famous for singing it, and Czerny, found that her performances so charming that he decided to notate the song and compose a set of 5 variations with it. So
Yeah, one thing to say about Carl Czerny was, you said he had so many pieces, even within individual opus numbers.
Yeah.
Well, then as this one shows, there's also so many notes
oh yeah,
in just one piece.
oh yeah, so many notes.
Can you imagine the ink that guy used up?
Oh yeah, good grief. Yeah.
Yeah, and I happened to discover it kind of by accident because I was looking for some exercises for some of my students to do.
Yeah.
So that they wouldn't have to buy the books, because you don't have to if you get IMSLP.
Yeah.
I think it's $24 a year.
Yeah.
And you have unlimited ability to just copy any of that stuff printed out. It's in there. And I just took a while to look at it. I never realized that there's like 2 full pages of Czerny's compositions. I mean, line by line by line. And then I was surprised. There's like 5 piano concertos or something like that, and piano sonatas and all those things. And I thought, this might be an interesting thing to look at.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's done everything, folks.
Or
Masses, chamber music, songs.
And unfortunately, he's in our time been
Yeah.
reduced to the guy that wrote those obnoxious little cute. Well, I have to say, the way some people look at it, those obnoxious little etudes and things that you have to play for your piano teacher. But actually, they're not so obnoxious. They're very charming.
Yeah.
Very nice little pieces that explore different kind of techniques.
Yeah, and I remember. Well, you remember the Earl Wild's memoirs, right?
Yeah.
Czerny does get a mention in there.
Ah.
He said, oftentimes when Earl Wild said that he was on, breaks between or sabbaticals between concerts, he wanted to get his fingers to feel good again. He would just practice up Czerny. He says, he says it can't be understated that his music actually makes the hands feel pretty good after a while.
Yeah.
It feels good after a while. Anyways, Leczetitsky, I remember reading in some article. Oh, by the way, Czerny, when I said that he very well could be the greatest influence among generations of pianists. He was also the teacher of Franz Liszt, some of you don't know, and Leczetitsky.
Mm-hmm.
So there you have it. Incidentally, when Liszt came to his door to audition, I don't remember what the audition pieces were, but in his journal, Czerny wrote that Liszt did everything wrong as far as pianistics go. He said, but it was clear that Mother Nature had created this wild child to play the piano. And so he taught Franz Liszt free, without charge.
And it was through Czerny that Liszt got to meet Beethoven.
Yeah.
That's how he met Beethoven, because of Czerny.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about Czerny was actually the other pianist with Beethoven doing four-hand music.
Yeah.
Infamously at a concert where some, royal or aristocratic guy or something came chatting into the room after they'd already started the concert, and the music was going on, and this, total center of the universe pig came strolling in, talking to his people and everything, and everything. And Beethoven stopped, and he took his students' hands off the piano and put them in his lap. And then the rich guy said, "Well, why has the music stopped?" And Beethoven says, "Well, because when whatever the guy asshole's name was, he said, whenever the great Duke speaks, we must all be silent." And so the guy was really put off, got upset about that. Anybody would dare talk to him like that. But of course, this was Beethoven. And so he went and sat his butt down in the chair and says, "By all means." And so Beethoven said, "Let's continue." That little guy there with him was Czerny, Carl Czerny, in that story. Because he's the one that relayed the story about when Beethoven did that.
Yeah.
He said, "This is the kind of power this guy had in Vienna."
Oh my goodness. If anybody out there knows of any good biographies about Carl Czerny,
Isn't that too bad?
Yeah.
That somebody that productive or anything might not really have ever been seriously explored.
Yeah.
Because Vladimir Horowitz. Now, I think it's partially because, there's that very strange recording that he made with Carl Maria Giulini near the end of his career.
The Mozart? Yeah.
Let's put it this way. When it came to Mozart, Horowitz just didn't have an idea of how to play it right,
Yeah.
The personality was just not meant for Mozart. As far as I'm concerned, it was never meant for Brahms. There's that famous recording he does of the first concerto with Bruno Walter, and he just does this stupid thing where he just takes off and leaves the orchestra in the dust.
Yeah.
This 1950 recording of the Paris Orchestra. Didn't do Brahms. I also don't. Beethoven is very odd. There's that Columbia recording of three of the big Beethovens. I got it. It was interesting.
Yeah.
But come on, he's not a Beethovenist either. But I think what he was doing was probably looking for composers that spoke to his unique way of playing.
Yeah.
And he introduced Clementi to the world again.
He did.
Who was a tremendous force back in his own day.
And Scarlatti.
And Scarlatti.
Remember
And
Scarlatti?
Czerny to some lesser extent.
Yeah.
But I think that's because these guys with the music, the way they wrote, it was something that Horowitz played very well in his own way, but in an effective way. He also did some Haydn.
Yeah, he did. I forgot about that.
The big E flat, the little E flat.
Yeah.
I don't know if he did the variations, but a little bit. He touched on a few things here or there.
Yeah.
And of course, because it was Horowitz, then everybody all of a sudden is looking at Clementi and Scarlatti. And, all these composers were somewhat, left on the shelf a little bit. So I think the fact that somebody like Horowitz brought them to life, he perceived something there that was worth it.
Oh yeah.
As a keyboard player, and then the historic performance movement, of course, looked at other things like that. I think one of the best performances of your F minor variations of Haydn is Malcolm Wilson's on the forte.
Oh yeah,
it's a great performance.
Have you heard Rubinstein's recording?
No.
Rubinstein has a recording of the F minor variations of Haydn.
No way.
Yes, he does.
Well, I would have it.
You should have
the whole
it.
CD
Look for it sometime. It's got to be in there. He did record it. Yeah. There's a RCA release.
Goes back away?
I think it probably does, because in it there's also a Mozart concerto with it in combination. So it's all in one album. But yeah, he did record it. It's oddly enough, but yeah. Okay.
Some odd moments there, huh?
Yeah, some very odd
Another
moments.
thing I know we talked about in that last show that was watching, Rudolf Serkin, that Maurice Hinson, I think, put up some unusual programs, not typical for certain pianists.
Oh.
And one that I always remember it featuring was Rudolf Serkin playing all 24, maybe 25, etudes of Chopin.
Oh.
And I don't know that I've never seen a recording of those with Sarah.
No, I have not.
But I remember we talked about it, because we were talking about, I can't think of his name again. It was the German that recorded the first set of them.
Blockhouse?
Yeah, Bachhaus.
Yeah.
And then Polini recorded it.
Yeah.
But, the kind, like we were talking about Horowitz and his repertoire, what he did. Well, then there's Serkin, right? And he did Mendelssohn and Beethoven.
Yes, he did.
Sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you don't think of him as a Chopin pianist.
No, you don't.
But the boy programmed all of the etudes and played them. And one would think with his technique, whatever, it would have been fine. But I would love to hear a recording of that.
Ruth
fly on the wall.
Ruth Lochenska, in her book, Music at Your Fingertips, she does show a few programs, and one of them was Rudolf Serkin's program.
Yeah.
And the first half was a couple Beethoven sonatas, and then there was an intermission. She calls it interval in her book.
Right.
The whole second half was the Opus 25 etudes.
Wow.
So he did perform them. He did. I mean, the guy must have had chops.
Now, was he the one? He was the one, right?
Yeah.
Who, in his debut performance, he did play Mozart. Yeah, he did the Goldberg.
Yeah.
But there was another time too when I don't know. It's the way the guy thought he was such a scholar.
Yeah.
Now Schnabel never played encores.
Yeah.
Because he thought, people pay for this crap. That's all they get. I'll play some more for them next time.
Yeah.
But I also, but Sagan was such a man in his head.
Oh yeah.
But I remember seeing one time where, can you imagine this? For an encore, he came out and played the Brahms Handel variation.
Oh no!
I mean, what were we talking about? 40 minutes?
Yeah, you're talking.
And a single work, all right?
Oh.
It's not just like comes out and plays a little potpourri kind of thing, like Horowitz with Cell or something. No, he sits down, starts the Brahms Handel variations, and that was the encore to whatever concert it was. Great personalities there.
For all you youngins out there, for encores, know your audience. Sometimes, if you're going to do an encore, just prefer to make it, short and sweet. It could be charming. It could be funny. Okay, but it used to be fashionable if any pianist back in the 40s, 50s, or 60s did an encore. Some of them would actually play Bach's Musette. It was fashionable. How do you say his name? Jörg Demus?
Jörg Demus.
Jörg Demus.
Yeah.
Jörg Demus used to play the Musette as an encore.
Yeah.
If he did encores.
He was a wonderful Austrian pianist, or I don't know, maybe German-Austrian, but back in the day of Christoph Eschenbach.
Eschenbach, yeah.
And even Brendel, those guys around that time, that's where he was from. I have some great stuff, because he, along with Paul Badura-Skoda, were some of them that were getting interested in the forte pianos. So I have, for example, Paul Badura-Skoda, the great Austrian pianist, playing the complete Beethoven sonatas on modern piano. And then the complete Beethoven sonatas on his collection of forte pianos. And I also have his complete Schubert sonatas, too, on a modern instrument. But Jörg Demus, I have an LP with him playing. It's one of the first times I ever heard Mozart forte piano was on his record. That he was playing some music on there. Yeah.
Wow. Well, so that was our featured composer today, folks.
Now I have to tell you.
Oh, that's right.
We should probably wind it up maybe like 5 to 10 minutes.
5 to 10 minutes? Okay. All right.
I got a direct concert tonight.
I have
with my left hand.
So, anyways.
So what's this now?
What's this now? Okay, we're going to move in. We're going to move into our next segment here, folks. No introduction, no prelude. PSI's high playing strip.
Oh no, boys! You don't get to see your hats on screen.
Sorry, guys. you've played old period instruments before, right?
Oh yeah.
You did try a Graf.
I played, well, more than once, but Malcolm Wilson had one in his house,
Okay.
and I played Schubert on it.
Okay. So let me ask you this. He didn't tune it to equal temperament, right?
No.
Okay.
Well, temperament, and it's also not at 440.
Right.
In those days and age, 430, maybe 435, depends on the period of time.
Yeah.
But 440 is a later kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So what kind of temperament was it? Like mean temperament? Or
no. So one of their
Back?
well temperaments, as they refer to
low
them.
tempered?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Well-tempered started around the time of Bach.
Yeah.
That's why he wrote the well-tempered clavier, meaning that he could play in all the keys possible.
Uh-huh.
And then they were developed. You want to pull that monster book out real quick?
Okay.
It's right behind you. Big fat red one.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, this is the Bible of tuning, before you introduce that. So I attended this guy's presentation many times, but this is a guy who was at the Michigan State University. And he taught the history of tuning and temperaments and stuff. And that's his Bible, the book, which we all rely on. There's working temperaments in there, like more than 80, close to 90 different ones. And it's very interesting because from Bach's time through Mozart and through the 19th century into the early 20th century, it's all well temperament. I used to keep my upright Petrov piano tuned into what they call a Victorian temperament. That was often done by the Broadwood factory, which existed way past Beethoven. I mean, they still make Broadwoods in the 20th century. But it was wonderful because you get this coloration like Rachmaninoff's Elegy, one of his early works, in E-flat minor, is so painful.
Yeah.
In the key, you can feel the anger beneath the sorrow and the sadness. In the key, it just kind of growls. And Jorgensen maintains that the first effective and reproducible tuning of equal temperament didn't happen until shortly after the First World War, and it was done in England. And then they began to use those.
I know what you're talking about.
The machine that has this. I'll put it up.
Yeah.
But it shows the sine waves.
Yeah.
Oscilloscope, right?
Oscilloscope. You can look it up.
And that's how you can tune a real equal temperament.
Yeah.
Because the beats have to be all equal. Period.
Yeah.
From two notes to the next two notes, and he says, that there were people who tried to do it by ear.
Yeah.
And then there were people who conceived of it from back at least in the 18th century or farther back of a true equal temperament. But it was not, you couldn't do it.
Right.
There's no way to reproduce it. So, and then there's so many, like the quotation if you read about, Liszt was asked, I remember one time, I had some of my books up there, why A flat for Aubergine source?
Yeah.
And he says, well, because it's about, the water sparkling up from the earth, and all that. And he said, is there any key better for something like that than A flat major? He very specifically said, that key has that color quality. And this is something I think has been lost in music. So I'm talking as a privilege.
Okay.
But so much has been lost with equal temperament. I have some different books. I'll pull those out another time. But about that kind of thing.
Straight string or cross string? It's straight.
Straight.
It's straight. Okay, so I want to introduce you to a CD recording I found here. It's only volume 2. I'm sad that I couldn't find volume 1 anywhere. It is Ludwig van Beethoven's Last 6 Piano Sonatas, volume 2. Played on a Graf forte piano by the illustrious Peter Serkin.
No way! Peter Serkin. Wow.
Peter Serkin.
Now, Beethoven probably never played a Graf because I'm not sure he would have had access to them. But it's
But
totally
on the ground,
appropriate.
though.
It's totally appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the period of time. Because they were making these groffs in the 1820s. I just don't know if he got to one or not. But
Well, he died in 1820.
wow. So this is the last three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went
With
looking.
Peter II, I had no idea. And it's Musical Heritage Society.
Yeah.
So this is one of your finds at the library thing?
No, this was actually at a thrift store, and
He
there was
finds stuff. The boy's a gold. He finds gold. Gold in a pile of shit.
look. It's my wife's senses when the spidey senses start tingling. She says it's time to go to the thrift store, and that's where we go. And
Wow.
they just happen to be there.
Wow.
But take a look at this. I would imagine I could probably find volume 1 of this.
You got on what's that, eBay?
Yeah, eBay or someplace. But and I didn't have to search for very long. There was only something like 30 CDs there. 30 CDs,
When
and I
was-
found this.
When was it recorded?
This was recorded in 1985, Priority Sheridan Square Records.
I had no idea. Way back then he was doing that.
Yeah. So.
I mean, Bilson had already been
Oh yeah.
forte piano stuff, but
Yeah.
Bilson started his career very much on the Mozart instrument.
So here you have Sonata number 30 in E major, Opus 109. Sonata number 31, A flat major, Opus 110, and the last one, 32, Opus 111. So there you have it. But that was
Cool.
You had no idea how excited I was.
Wow.
And they sold it to me for 50 cents.
Oh my
50
God.
cents.
Oh my God.
So
Did
you
you
could
see
imagine my stomach like, jump leaping, and
50 cents.
50 cents.
Wow.
This thing.
What a find.
Yeah, this was down south
Good
on
buddy.
Broad Street.
You got a big cowboy hat on in this
So-
one.
Oh, don't make it too big. So, anyways, along with that, now this I found in the archives. Okay, I do not remember where I found this, but this is Bach's 6 partitas, performed by or recorded by Jean-Louis Steuermann. I don't know him either. I only know him through this.
On Phillips, too.
On Phillips, yeah.
Who's a skinny little fussy dresser guy?
Yeah.
Jean-Louis Steuermann. I wonder if he's Belgian. Because he's got Steuermann, but he's Jean-Louis. Because, they're kind of in between France and
Yeah.
the Netherlands.
Okay.
But I don't know.
I've never heard of
But come on, the boy plays all the 6 partitas.
Yeah,
He's got to be somebody.
He's no slouch.
No.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't get to read the liner notes, but I did get to listen to the first CD, and it's quite scholarly. The famous, what is it? The C minor, yeah, number 2.
Yeah.
Much slower than I'm used to.
Okay.
Much slower, and more rolled chords than what I was used to.
Yeah.
There
oftentimes there are no tempo markings.
Yeah, right. Right.
And you need, as we've had more and more study in musicology, and historians, they have helped us understand what the likely tempi are.
Yeah.
Of course, there's been lots of historic groups and stuff, but sometimes, look, there are certain people that play the Goldberg variations this way, and then there's Glenn Gould.
Yeah.
And various people all through there. And who I really respect, I can't think of his name right now. You know who the harpsichordist is? The guy I love so much. American who went and lived in France. I'll put his name out.
Oh, yeah, Armstrong?
No. He's a harpsichordist in Oregon.
Oh.
I've got all the Scarlatti sonatas.
Oh.
The Bach stuff as
Bob. Is it
Robert,
Bob?
yeah.
James?
I'm sure I can't remember.
You'll
But
find
I
out.
love him. But one of the things that you can kind of figure is that when the movements are dance movements, if you understand more or less the nature of that particular dance in the Baroque, then you've got a pretty, not huge wide, but a relatively narrow field of tempo options for that, because the dance is controlling what's going to happen, more or less. I'm really grateful to Trudy Faber, my teacher in Baroque music, because she actually had a dance teacher from the dance department who was interested in classical dances come in and teach us how to do the Baroque minuet, the passe-pied, and the courante, and all these different things. So we learned how to do them, so because then you have a real feel in your body for it. But it's interesting you say it's slow, because why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Bach is extraordinary that way. He's like Gumby.
Yeah.
You can do almost anything to him, stretching this away and that, or squeezing together.
Well, I didn't mean anything bad by it, but it's just new to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Good for you.
Yeah. So, anyways, from what I hear, it's very good. Okay, I mean, I like it. I mean, I'll definitely be listening to some more. And I tell you, this one though, this was quite defined. Mm-hmm. And I've been listening, just the opening first three tracks, the E major, number 30, was quite eye-opening. I mean, it gives it a completely different character than what I have heard in modern recordings.
Is more associated with Schubert and then even Schumann.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and you could, Brahms would have played on Grops as well. It was very popular. It was like one of the kings of pianos. There were lots of names.
Yeah.
But let's say, as the model of an instrument of that period, there were other makers, but the Graf, I would say, goes all the way from Schubert through Brahms. Yeah. And in fact, Brahms's personal piano was a Streicher, a straight strung Streicher, which was, let's say the ancestor was the Streicher that Beethoven loved so much, made by the woman. But this is like a couple generations later. But Brahms himself, his personal piano was not cross-strung, and it was a German instrument, well, Austrian, made by the Streicher company. That's the last one he ever owned. Big one, but straight strung too.
Wow!
I told you, I had the opportunity to play on an instrument. It was actually the Bösendorfer.
Yeah.
It was because I'd been playing on Steinway and such. And the problem with the Brahms First Sonata was it's obviously written for orchestra, but conceived of it as orchestra, but on the piano. And it was the challenge anytime, with densely written music is how to balance it and how to pull certain voices out. One might say at the expense of other.
Yeah.
Right. But I remember one time we did the master class in the huge hall, Mills Hall, and they wheeled out the Bösendorf for the Imperial Grand. Now it was cross-strung, but come on, it was so long that there's not an intense need for serious cross-stringing. It's the first time I ever played the slow movement, and I didn't really have to counterweight things. It just spoke out by itself.
Wow.
And then subsequently, I had the opportunity with real straight-strung 19th century instruments to play, and they're interesting because each section of the piano has its own kind of color and sound in a way, and you could tell that Brahms was really writing that way, because when I played the whole thing on the straight string instrument, it was easier to play in terms of balancing and voices and things like that, because the instrument just brought it out. I didn't have to manipulate it.
Yeah.
I don't have, money or the access to the historic instruments, but I do think there is something to experiencing and hearing and playing the music on an instrument at the time that music was written and first performed, because it can teach you a lot about.
Yeah.
Not that you have to make the modern instrument sound like something else.
Yeah.
But the modern instrument has the capacity, so much potential variety of articulation and dynamics and such, that you can do things. I mean, Glenn Gould made a modern Steinway sound like a harpsichord in certain ways. You know?
Oh yeah.
Not one might disagree, serious
Yeah.
ones. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there was that wonderful Chilean pianist, right? No. Argentina, somewhere in South America.
Yeah.
I forget his name, but he's the one that they made those gloves for that he
Yes.
could play again.
Carlos Martins.
Carlos Martinez or something like that.
Yeah.
He amazingly came up and did his debut concert at Carnegie Hall.
Yeah.
All Bach.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful playing. You should listen to the guy. What's his name?
Carlos Martins.
Martins or something like that.
Martins.
I don't know if he's still alive.
Yeah. There's an old recording of him doing
He had
Pianistera.
kind of a problem.
Yeah.
And eventually his right hand wouldn't work for him. And it was years, but then only in recent years they had found a kind of a glove thing that would fit on him, and it was, I don't know, somehow controlled by his own impulses,
Yeah.
that it would work for him. Now he said, I would perform in public with this. But he said, for my own enjoyment, I can play
Absolutely.
almost as well as I used to.
Yeah.
But he didn't make any effort to make the piano sound like a harpsichord.
Yeah.
It was wonderful, colorful, and beautiful, and rhythmic and dynamic playing. But nonetheless, when you get the chance to expose yourself to the historic stuff, I think it gives you an eye and an ear, as a performer, a feel for what's possible, how things were. And so
Yeah.
they call it historically informed.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
So-
folks, it's been well over 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, I
here.
know.
Okay.
It's because of
anyways,
me. It's because of me.
But folks, I hope you've enjoyed our show today. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you really like our show, enjoyed our company. Come back again to see what we're reading, what we're hearing, what we're playing. Lots of excitement here. Like I said, still a work in progress. I'll let you know in the future what else we've been finding, okay?
Yeah.
But come back and join us again, okay?
Thanks for the show, Al. You brought some
thank
cool
you.
stuff. He always brings all these wonderful ideas, and then I slow him down with my commentary.
That's why we're a match made in heaven. Folks, this is
Mark.
and I'm Elmer. We are
Mark and Elmer's PSI Piano Scene Investigations.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
folks.
Say
Come
bye,
back.
guys. Bye, dear. Thank you, Grandma.
Behave. See you guys.
Bye-bye.